Hello, welcome back. Thank you so much for being here. So today I'm going to be sharing what products I would keep if I could, for some reason, only keep 15 makeup products. So I am not counting any skincare or anything like that. This is specifically makeup if I could only keep 15. So this was very challenging, but I think I have narrowed it down to my perfect 15 product curated collection. So let's just hop right into it. We'll start with complexion. So first up is not going to be a surprise. This is the NARS Light Reflecting Foundation. This is what I have on today. This is my holy grail foundation. I love this so much. I have been using it since it launched. This is not my first bottle, and I have the shade Mont Blanc. I just love this foundation so much. I love the way it sits on my skin. It gives definitely a very medium coverage. You're not going to get a full coverage moment with this, but it is going to just make your skin look so alive and healthy. It's going to give you a really healthy, natural looking glow all day long without being overly glowy, without making you look oily. And it's just beautiful. It makes the skin look so even and flawless. I absolutely love this foundation. Blending it onto the skin is so incredibly easy. I just love the way it is so beautiful and seamless and just gives the healthiest luminosity to the skin. There is nothing like this foundation. It's also just super comfortable, super lightweight. I love everything about this one, and this one is never leaving my collection. But I also had to think about if I did want a more full coverage foundation, if I was looking for a little extra coverage for one reason or another, and I went with the Haus Labs Triclone Skin Tech Foundation. So this is my favorite higher coverage foundation. This is supposed to have a medium coverage, but it is definitely buildable so you can get that full coverage moment. I have the shade 050 Fair Cool. This is not the proper shade for me because the Haus Labs shade range is actually more like MAC, so if it identifies as being a cool shade, it's actually going to pull yellow on your skin, so it's going to be for more warm skin tones, whereas if it says it's warm, it's going to be for cooler skin tones. I hate that shade setup, but just keep in mind that that is how Haus Labs works, so I would grab a different shade next time. I am about halfway done with this one, which tells you a lot given that I do have a lot of foundations, and this is one I just choose to reach for over and over again. This one definitely does dry down matte, and as someone who has dry skin, that is often an issue for me. It's often quite intimidating because I don't like things that are too matte, that are going to dry me out, that are going to make my skin feel a little bit tight or cling to dry patches, anything like that. And this never does that. This still makes my skin look flawless and healthy. It is matte, but again, it just sort of gives me such a beautiful lightweight coverage, and it doesn't mess with my dry skin. So I do absolutely love this as well. For concealer, I only pulled one. I only need one. This is the Natasha Denona High Glam Concealer. I have mine in N1. I have already purchased a backup of this because it has to be almost empty somehow because I use this every single time I do my makeup. I do currently have this in my project pan as well because I know it's getting really low, but I absolutely love this concealer. This gives such a beautiful full coverage while also being very lightweight and very blendable. It also has minimal creasing. I don't think there is a single concealer that absolutely does not crease, but there are some that are very minimal when it comes to creasing, and that is this. I absolutely love this. Again, this is just so easy to blend and work with. It lasts all day long. And this is another one that I do like to take all over the face if I'm trying to skip foundation. Maybe I just need a super quick makeup. This is perfect to put all over the face, even everything out, and then go in with the rest of your makeup because it doesn't budge. It blends so quickly and easily. It blends seamlessly into the skin, much like the NARS Light Reflecting Foundation. I absolutely love it, and again, the coverage is unmatched. So this concealer is my absolute favorite. The only powder that I absolutely have to mention is the Givenchy Prism Leap powder. This is in shade 2 Satin Blanc. So as a dry skin type who also hates when foundations have a sticky or tacky finish, I have been searching for the perfect powder for years and years and years. I have found some that I do like. I love the Pat McGrath Under Eye Blurring Powder. I love the Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Finish Setting Powder. I think those are wonderful. They're blurring. They look beautiful on the skin. They're lightweight. But somehow this powder from Givenchy is so much better, even than those that I also really love. This is just so incredibly lightweight. It is very finely milled. It is a loose powder, so it is a little bit more messy than I would like, but it's so worth it. But like I said, it sets everything down and keeps everything in place, locks it in, but it does all of that without robbing the skin of all luminosity that you gain from the foundation or concealer or whatever other products you're using. Somehow this just gives you the best of everything. It's incredibly lightweight. It never clings to dry patches. It never looks heavy. It never looks cakey. It is just the best of the best when it comes to powders. And if you have dry skin, I know this is pricey, but I do highly, highly recommend it. I think if you're unsure but you want to try it, they do have minis, so I would recommend that. This is a mini, actually, because I was in that spot where everyone was just raving about this, recommending it over and over and over, and I just thought, there's no way this powder is that good. So I grabbed the mini and it really is that good. Okay, sticking with complexion, I decided to go with a face palette because that would get me a lot of what I need without taking up too much room in other parts of my collection. So I went with the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Edit Unlocked Jellyfish palette. And any of the Hourglass palettes would be wonderful, honestly. But I particularly love this one. So this was their release from holiday 2023. I love this because you get 2 finishing powders, a bronzer, 2 blushes, and the most beautiful highlighter. I think all of these shades are so beautiful. I love that you do get that more mauve tone blush, but you also get a more bright blush for summer. I love the bronzer on fair skin. That highlighter is absolutely stunning, and both of the setting powders are stunning. Hourglass powders are honestly unmatched. They are just so lightweight, but they also just have this beautiful luminosity to them that just looks so gorgeous and healthy on the skin, no matter what your skin type. I absolutely love the Hourglass face products, so I figured an Hourglass palette would definitely be the way to go. But I am a huge fan of peach blushes in the summer, so I also decided to pull out my very favorite peach blush, and that is the Shelly blush from Benefit. So this is a mini, but I do love this one. I have a ton of peach blushes. Like I said, it's one of my favorites for the summer, but this has to be one of my very, very favorites. There's just something beautiful about this one. It's pigmented, it blends beautifully, it has a slight sheen to it. So it gives your cheeks that slight luminosity, but it's not glittery like the new Rare Beauty powder blushes. This is just beautiful and flattering on the cheeks, and it just makes you look so healthy and summery, and I do really love it. So peach blush really needed to be in here as well. I also decided I would absolutely need brow products. I did pull a brow pencil. This is the one that's in my project pan. This is the MAC Volux Brow Liner. This one is actually discontinued, but honestly, I pulled this because I would need a brow pencil, but I could get one from the drugstore. It would be from anywhere. I just need a brow pencil. I could get it done with eyeshadow, don't get me wrong, but I do prefer just a quick pencil to get it done. So any brow pencil would do, but I just decided to pull the MAC pencil. I do like it. It does have sort of like a powder finish to it when you actually do use this one, so it does end up looking a little bit more natural. Mine is in the shade Brunette. I do really like this one. Unfortunately, it is discontinued. And I pulled my favorite brow gel. This is the Rare Beauty Flexible Lifting Gel. I love this. This is what I use on my brows every single day. This I am actually almost done with. So I do have finer brow hairs, so it doesn't take much for a brow gel to weigh down my brows. But I'm also very simple with brows. I like to fill them in with a pencil. I like to lock them in with a gel and be done. I don't spend a lot of time on my brows, so I love something that is super simple like this. It's fuss-free, it's easy to work with, it's going to lock my brows in place all day without making them look crusty or shiny, which some brow gels can do. So the Rare Beauty Brow Gel has been my tippy top favorite, so I would absolutely have to keep this. For mascara, so I always say that you do not need to invest in high-end mascaras. You really don't. The drugstore gets it done, but given that I'm looking at this from if I could only keep 15, I'm assuming that I already have all these products and I just have to get rid of everything else. So I'm absolutely keeping my YSL Lash Clash mascara. This is just one of my absolute favorite mascaras. This does kind of make like a triangle shape, and it does have these fiber bristles, which is my preference. I'm not a huge fan of rubber bristle wands. I just find they're too pokey. But this one is so beautiful. This mascara literally coats every single lash. It makes the lashes look so fluffy and full, but also long. I think this mascara is really, really amazing. You can't go wrong with this one. I know it is so pricey, but this one is so worth it. I love this mascara. So I would absolutely have to keep this one. I just love the way it makes my lashes look. I did consider keeping a tubing formula. I like the Hourglass unlocked extensions, but I really don't find I get a lot of volume with that one. I don't currently have the Thrive Cosmetics liquid lash extensions. If I did, I would probably keep that one in place of one of my lip products, or in place of my brow pencil maybe, just because I do love that one so much. That's another one that isn't very volumizing, but it is so incredibly lengthening that I really do love that one. I don't like the Tarte tubing mascara because it doesn't come off like a tubing mascara. It's just really, really messy and hard to get off. So I don't love the Tarte, but again, I just absolutely love the effect of this mascara on my lashes, so I would absolutely have to keep this one. I'm going to share a setting spray, some lip products, and then I'll get into the eye palettes that I would be keeping. So I would be keeping my Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray. This is just my absolute favorite setting spray. I love this so much. I've gone through so many bottles of this. And for some reason, I always order the little bottles, or I order a duo of the two small ones together. But I just placed an order for my first full size because this is kind of ridiculous. I go through these so much, and the larger bottles are definitely the better value. So I did order that. So I'm very excited, but I love this because the packaging is pretty, but this just locks in the makeup, but also provides hydration to the skin. So I always compare this to like a hybrid between the Urban Decay All Nighter and the MAC Fix Plus. You're getting that intense lasting powder of the Urban Decay, but you're getting the hydration of the MAC Fix Plus. The MAC Fix Plus is beautiful because it really just sort of makes all of your makeup melt into the skin and just look so beautiful. It doesn't look like it's sitting on top of the skin. When you go in with the Fix Plus, it's a very, very beautiful effect, but the Urban Decay really locks your makeup in, and that makeup isn't going anywhere. The Charlotte Tilbury does all of that. So I absolutely swear by this setting spray. I love it so much. I would have to keep this. I pulled 3 lip products because I am nothing if not obsessed with lip products. The first one I pulled is from Charlotte Tilbury, and this is the Pillow Talk Fair Lipstick. This is my perfect pink lip. I love this one so much. I definitely foresee myself using up this lipstick entirely and having to order it again because I use it so much. Pillow Talk is like Charlotte Tilbury's core line. The original Pillow Talk shade was everybody's favorite pink neutral shade for the longest time, but Pillow Talk Fair is my absolute perfect shade. I can't get enough of this one. I love it so much. But then I thought, around the holidays, I usually like to reach for a red, but I don't know if that's so important to me that I would have to keep a red lipstick because I really only wear it maybe once or twice a year. So then I thought, well, what if I kept a more berry tone lipstick? So then I grabbed the Natasha Denona Berry Pop lipstick, and I love this because this is, like I said, it's a deeper berry lipstick. It's got a blue undertone, which is flattering with my cool undertones. Whenever I go for a red, I need to go for a blue-based red. This gives you that element of, hey, I'm wearing a red, but not really. It's not as intense and intimidating as a red, but it definitely makes more of a statement. And I love this shade. I think it's so beautiful. And this is one that it's not so intense that I'm only going to wear it once or twice a year like a regular red. This is one that I'm going to reach for a ton going into fall and the holidays because I just think it's that beautiful, deeper, more intense berry tone. It's just very, very flattering, very beautiful, but much easier to wear than an intense red. And I think those of us who are super fair skin can appreciate something that's just a little less intense. Some people pull it off like nobody's business, and I have so much respect for those people. It's just, I don't feel like I can pull off a red the way that I want to, you know? And for a very neutral lip, I pulled the Maybelline Superstay Vinyl Ink in Captivated. This is such a good liquid lipstick. So this is one of those where you put it on and it has a very glossy finish. Eventually the glossy finish wears away and you're just left with the color. But this color really will last you all day long. It will last you through eating, through drinking, through anything you're doing. This does not move. This is such a fantastic formula. At first, I feel like I had a bit of a hate on for it just because it does have a certain tackiness to it. But I've learned to deal with that because this formula is so good and so long lasting. And I do think a neutral is a staple. So I did pull this one, of course. All right, let's talk about the two eyeshadow palettes I pulled. And this might be a surprise because if you're familiar with my channel, you know my absolute favorite eyeshadow palette is the Natasha Denona Mini Biba. If I could keep maybe a bonus product, that would be it. But I'm thinking if I only have 15 products. Like, this is a super minimal collection. I want the products that I have to give me the most amount of options, which is why I went for the Hourglass palette. So instead of going for the Natasha Denona Mini Biba, I went for the I Need a Nude palette. So this palette is 15 shades of nude and I love every single one of them. This gives me a lot of options. I do end up foregoing that shimmer shade in the Mini Biba, but I would learn to live with it. You do get some pinky peach tones in here. You get definitely some more pinks. You get some neutral browns. Everything in this palette is very neutral, very easy to wear, just very nude. You can get some depth with it. Not a ton, but you can get some. But again, this is just the perfect everyday palette and you get 15 shades as opposed to the 5 in the mini. So then I got thinking, what do I do for a more colorful option if I'm just sort of feeling in that mood? This is the Viseart Paris Reverie palette, and this palette is pretty neutral, but it does have those brighter pops of peach and it has some purples. So I decided that this counts as a more colorful option, especially when it comes to me. So I love this. The Viseart formula is absolutely fantastic. The mattes are just so incredible. They're so easy to work with and blend. These shimmers are just stunning. They give the softest, most ethereal look on the eyes. They're so, so pretty. And I also love these shimmers because I am someone who always applies my shimmers with a finger just because I think that's the most effective method. It gives you the most impact and usually gives me a little bit less fallout. But I do prefer a brush just because you can be more precise. With these, you really can just use a brush and you don't need to worry about fingers. You don't need to worry about your nails if that's a situation. These apply beautifully with a brush. I love the Viseart formula, and this palette, I don't know if you can see on camera, but it is looking so beat up because I use it so much. I only got this back in the spring and it has definitely looked better. I love this palette so much. Again, you can go pink, you can go purple, you can go brown, you can go peach. I love it all. It's everything I need. So I love this palette between this one and the I Need a Nude. I really don't think I need anything else. But that is it. If I could only keep 15 makeup products, thank God I don't have to, but if I could only keep 15 products, this is what I would be keeping. So let me know all of your thoughts down below. What do you think of my choices? What would you keep if you could only keep 15? And do you think you could do it if you could only keep 15? Most of you could. I couldn't. I definitely couldn't. But that is it for me today. Thank you so very much for watching. If you're new here, I hope you'll consider subscribing before you go. I do upload new videos every single week. Thank you again so very much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!